Hi guys, morning. So I'm a bit later today than normal. Get a bit tidy. So just so you know, my name is Louis. I'm from the southwest UK near Bristol, and we are basically defending Elvis Presley, and we're searching for the truth. There's many different ways that we can defend Elvis. There's many different people, biographies, documentaries, films that I think portray Elvis in a very bad light. I don't think we get to see the real Elvis in many of these things, including this book here. I personally think that this book has been written in a very one-sided way that gives the world a look at Elvis from the point of view of Priscilla. And I don't think that's fair because Elvis had no say in the writing of this book. The problem we have is the whole world, going way back to the 80s, have fallen for this narrative, this, in my opinion, fake storyline. And if you look at almost any interview that is done, they will base a lot of their questioning from things that are said in this book, as if this book is like history, like actual history. And this book is not history. This book is a story written by Priscilla Presley and her, is it Sandra Harmon, I think in 1985. And it's a retelling of her version, Priscilla's version of events starting way back in 1959. And we can't say that this book is truth. We can't do that. We get a general feeling of things as they unfolded over the years that led up to Priscilla finally leaving Elvis. Some would say that it was Elvis that left Priscilla because he demanded a divorce after finding out about Mike Stone. But there's a lot of things written in this book to do with Elvis sexually, his personality, whether or not he was angry, many things, picking out faults in Elvis that may not be true. He can't defend himself. No one really is standing up for Elvis, are they? Let's face it. If you really go over the decades and the interviews and biographies and documentaries, how many people have stood up for Elvis? And I tell you now, if you really start searching, you might not even be able to name them on one hand. I'm not talking about fans now. There's millions of fans trying to stick up for Elvis, millions, all over the place on social network, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, obviously YouTube, all trying to defend Elvis. But how many credible people that are interviewers or newsreaders or biography makers, documentary makers, making movies, how many of them stand up for Elvis? None. I would say none, in my opinion. So to me, that is critical for this channel that we have created together, that is now its mission to defend Elvis against any wrongdoing or mistruths or rewriting of history. That's why we're here, guys. We're basically going, no, this image, this portrayal of Elvis Presley is very unfair. A portrayal of his image, his legacy is very unfair. And not just in books. Because obviously there's many books, many books. And the majority of them, I would say, pay Elvis out to be this depressed, angry, sexual deviant, pedophile, a drug addict, someone who had a eating disorder that binged on burgers, someone who was very selfish and could be very nasty, and someone that put himself first. Now, this is all so untrue. Elvis was none of these things. We could break it all down. We could talk about the eating. We could talk about the drugs. We could talk about the affairs. And if you break down each section and then go back and break down each year, there's a completely different story that explains all of the horrible things that are said about Elvis. And we've been going through this in the channel. So I personally feel that we have to do a lot of research into Priscilla Presley. Now, not because I hate on Priscilla Presley, not because I want to get other people to hate Priscilla Presley. It has nothing to do with that. The reason I feel this way is because I personally feel that Priscilla Presley, in my opinion, got my cup of tea, guys, has gone out of her way, just an opinion, not a fact, to tarnish Elvis's reputation. Now, I completely understand, guys, if you're Priscilla fans, I completely understand that Priscilla has also said very good things about Elvis. You will find many interviews about Priscilla going through the motions, because I think she's almost got a preset set of questions that she expects to be asked by interviewers, that she will go through praising Elvis, saying all his good points. He was fun and charming and loving and caring and extremely talented, extremely beautiful, happy-go-lucky. They had many happy times together. She'll go through all the usual questions with any interviewer. You go back to any interview and she will spend half of that interview praising Elvis. But this is the problem. It's almost like, this is my opinion, that she has an agenda. So she knows that these interviewers are going to ask certain questions. Maybe they're handed the questions in advance. We don't know, but it's very possible. So she'll do I'll say the nice things because that'll keep the fans happy. But then she knows that sooner or later, at some point in the interview, the interviewer will go, "Oh, you were only 14 when you met." Instantly painting him out as a paedophile, even though the truth is she didn't move to America till she was nearly 18 and they didn't have sex until the night of the wedding. Then they'll ask about the drug problem. Oh, yeah, he did have a problem with drugs. He was over-medicating and, in her own indirect way, he was a drug addict. Now, if anyone puts half an hour of research and start understanding the very serious medical problems that Elvis had, it doesn't take long to find out that Elvis, in his late 30s and in 41, 42, was very, very unwell. We are talking seriously unwell. We are talking twisted colon, serious bad constipation, inflamed heart, liver problems where he couldn't clear out his toxins properly. He had hypertension. He had high blood pressure. He had glaucoma, so serious pain in his eyes. And Elvis had so many. Hi, Nadia. How are you? Now, Elvis had so many very serious medical conditions. So, yes, he was taking up to 40, maybe more tablets a day because of how seriously ill he was. And yes, he took many painkillers. He also had very serious insomnia, so he needed to sedate himself to try and go to sleep. He needed to sedate himself in between shows. So when he was in Vegas and he was doing 2 or 3 shows a day, he would take certain tablets to boost his energy. Then he would do his performance. Then he wanted to rest between performances, so he would sedate himself. And at the same time, taking many tablets for pain relief, but also to try and resolve all these serious medical conditions that were in his body. You have to look it up, but he had inherited some kind of gene called alpha-1. You have to look that up. It's all to do with the fact that his mother and his grandparents His grandparents were first cousins, and this came with a lot of very serious conditions that Elvis inherited. So what I'm trying to say is, yeah, Elvis took a lot of pain relief and sedatives and many different pills to try and help him with all these very serious medical conditions that he had. Very, very serious, life-threatening medical. And yeah, that does not make him a drug addict. And people try and call him fat. Well, many of the conditions Elvis had bloated everything in this area, bloated. And if you look at pictures of Elvis on his last holiday in 1977, his body is slim, his legs are slim, but his stomach is distended and bloated because all of his colon, his twisted colon, and his internals were inflamed. His heart was bigger than normal. His liver was inflamed. Everything was inflamed. So Elvis looks fat. And even if you look at these last concerts where he really looks, I would say he looks very overweight. If you really look at it properly, the cameras are up close. The suit he's wearing, the jumpsuit, makes him look even bigger than he is. You've only got to look at one picture of Elvis on holiday. I'll quickly get it up, in 1977. And that is not a fat man. So what I'm trying to say is many of the things that are said about Elvis are completely unfair. So I'm trying to understand Priscilla and why she came to the decision to leave Elvis. Even though Elvis demanded the divorce after Mike Stone, it was Priscilla that wanted out. So I've been doing a lot of research. I've been analyzing Mike Stone. I found some very good interviews. I found some little clips, quite a recent interview. Let me just show you this picture of Elvis on holiday. I just want to show it because I'm trying to show you what I'm saying so that you get what I'm trying to say to you. So this was March 1977. I know many of you have seen this. We've already covered this. That is not a fat man. That is a slim man with a large belly. And actually, I would say not a massive belly. So I'm trying to say to you guys that a lot of the things that we are told about Elvis are unfair to Elvis. Morning, Colleen. So look at his legs, look at his arms. This is 1977, months before he died. So my point is, almost everything that is being said about Elvis, not just by Priscilla, but also by the image that is gone around the world, is unfair. And this is why we're here. And I have slightly changed the name now. You'll see it on the thumbnail. I've now decided that we are going to call the channel Defending Elvis Presley, Search for the Truth. That's where I am. Because I do think the word defending is really key. And so that is probably going to be the new name, guys. Tell me if you like it. But I don't really think we have a choice, because that is our purpose now, isn't it? Now, if I've had dozens and dozens of messages every day. I'm getting, I don't know how many it is, but it's so many messages. It's quite a task to go through these messages and reply to them all. But the reason I'm getting so many messages, because you guys are just so passionate. You are so passionate in defending Elvis and searching for the truth. And we're doing this together, and we're united in defending Elvis. And it's our little movement. It's our little family. It's a no-brainer, guys. It's easy for me because you guys are telling me all the information I need so that I can sit here and defend Elvis every day. And I'm enjoying it. I'm very passionate about it. So anyway, guys, I got a few juicy little bits for you with Mike Stone. Hi, Retha. Are you new to the channel? Are you new? Blue Bunny, thank you for becoming a member. Thank you. Blue Bunny, thank you. Fortunately, his face and his lips were bloated too, and that makes him seem fatter. Look, I say this loud and proud. Elvis was not fat. He was very unwell. He was over-medicated and everything was inflamed. He had serious inflammation throughout his whole body, everything. Not just his internal organs, his skin, his brain, everything. So he did look seriously unwell, and that's because he was. Elvis was very, very unwell. So just, I'll say this early on, please subscribe, guys, because the only reason we can come together and do a live stream and we all join in is if you have subscribed and hit the notification bell so you're informed when I'm coming on. I cannot give an actual time I'm coming on because it's all based on the children. How I do my live streams is all when I get a gap from the kids. And because I've got 5 kids with my wife, I can't even give a definite time. Plus, I do run a company, and sometimes at short notice, I have to go off and repairs are needed in the buildings that I run. Like, for example, yesterday we had a gale force wind and it blew scaffolding off one of my buildings. So I had to get down there and help them sort that out. So out of the blue, I'm gone. I do work, but I work very part-time. Yeah, I guarantee that he had a lot of water retention, Nadia, don't we all? So talking about the membership, guys, I've got some juicy stuff for you today. I think you're going to like it. But I do want to push the membership of this channel. And I'll tell you why. Because I've got a long-term intention that eventually I'm going to, once we get the membership to a certain number, I want to do some live streams that are just for members. So we can talk a bit more privately and go into more detail. So I'm trying to boost the membership. So the membership is at the lowest price that I'm allowed to do that I could work out on YouTube, which is basically $1 a month. Yeah. And it does mean that I can select just the members to do certain things. And it's not about money. I don't need money. I've got enough income. I'm not trying to grab your money, guys. But how no PayPal? I don't understand what you mean. But I'm not forcing anyone to be a member. Guys, come on, it's $12 a year. 12 quid a year. It is such a small amount of money. It isn't about the money. This is about I'm trying to, as the channel evolves, I want to have live streams for everyone and live streams for members, and I think the members deserve that. Yeah. So please don't look at me as trying to money grab. I'm not. I'm trying to create this special channel that has membership that is so certain videos, certain live streams are for the members, and I think it'll be a good thing for the channel. I think I'm not into payment stuff. All I know is that you click the join button, then it takes you through to a link. You can cancel at any time, but it means everything to me because it tells me that you guys like what I'm doing. You like what I'm doing, and that is why I want members. It's not because I want money. Anyway, but very importantly, guys, please subscribe. Really important. Please hit the notification bell because the most important thing is that we all come together on these live streams. So I decided this morning that if I'm going to properly defend Elvis with the help of you guys, that I have to learn more about Mike Stone. So a few people have been sending me links. Thank you, guys. I've had some quite good links about the Beatles. I am going to do a Beatles link when they met Elvis as well. But this, you've got your live streams that are not serious, like Elvis meeting the Beatles. Just many different subjects we can choose live streams that are not serious. But I take the live streams where we're discussing Priscilla. I take very seriously. I need to do my research. I don't want to say anything that I don't think is true. So it's very important that we do our research when we're talking about Priscilla because I can get comebacks. So even though it's just opinions, I still want to cover my back. So I think that this interview that I found with Mike Stone, which looks to me like it's only a few months ago, if I've found it correctly, is very telling. So what it does, it goes into detail about how Priscilla first saw Mike Stone and had made up her mind he was going to be the man that she wanted. It also says that Priscilla knew that she had to find a powerful man that can stand up to Elvis. This interview also says that she had 100% had made her mind that she was out. She was going to leave Elvis. That was a decided factor already in her mind. And she wasn't sure how or when, but she was formulating a plan. And Mike Stone clearly says that he was part of her plan. He didn't know this. He didn't know this. Now looking back, Mike Stone does accept that she used him to break away from Elvis because she was very unhappy. Also, she was very ambitious. So this ties into it. So I'm going to start showing these clips in a minute, guys. Are you ready? So the other thing that Mike Stone says is that he saw that once she had got her way, once he became no use for her, that she moved on with her life. He didn't have a use anymore, even though they did last 3 to 4 years. The other thing that Mike Stone says, and this is, I wanted some proof of this, guys. They definitely were seeing each other for a year secretly, because I wanted proof of it, and he says it from his own words. Now, you imagine how cruel that is to Elvis. And I'll show you these clips. For a whole year, they were secretly having an affair. I'm always going to say in my opinion, but it comes from his mouth. And now we've got proof because he said it. I don't think it gets better than that. Elvis Presley, remember, this now we're talking 71 now, 1971. So we're talking, he's already caught Priscilla being unfaithful after the baby was born, Lisa Marie, in 1968, around March. Yeah, we know this. And even though at that point a divorce didn't happen, no one was asking for a divorce at that point. She had been caught out. Now, we don't know what went on behind the scenes. I think Elvis refused to sleep with her after that point, but it's only my opinion. I also think that to save face, Elvis carried on living a life with Priscilla, a public life. And thanks to Annie on her comments, we got I've already read this to you guys that, that they were still having holidays in Hawaii and the Bahamas. This is in 68, 69, 70, even early 71. It's the 1971 things that bother me because that's when she was secretly seeing Mike Stone for a year without Elvis knowing. So then you've got that they attended things like Tom Jones performances. They had a Christmas together in 70, the JC Awards, which are super famous. They were together 1970. Then we've got the Vegas shows. Priscilla would attend some of those in 69, 70, 71. And then they spent Easter together in 71. They attended a Muhammad Ali boxing match together. And there was another Tom Jones show then as well in 71. So this just shows that Elvis, at the point of catching Priscilla being unfaithful, 68, whilst Lisa Marie was just a small baby, less than 8 weeks old maybe, this shows that Elvis and Priscilla did not want to break the family up. They wanted to give it a go. And I think that Elvis did try. But I also do believe this, that in Elvis's mind, the relationship was completely over. There was no sex. This is just my opinion. And that Elvis then, after that, went on to have affairs because he was heartbroken, couldn't believe that she had done this. he'd seen a dark side to Priscilla that made him realize that she isn't the lady that he thought she was. She isn't this sweet, innocent person. Thanks, All Stars. Are you new? Oh, I'm so pleased. Have you just become a member? That really is important to me. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Please let me know where you're from. Thank you. And you're welcome aboard. Thanks for being a member. But anyway, as I was saying, tell me your name so I can call you by your name. So anyway, as I was saying, so we've got this decision from Elvis and Priscilla where they're going to have a charade relationship, where they're going to still carry on with all these events. But actually, Elvis, in his heart, has said, sod you, I'm going to carry on with my life. And then, so 68 started off as being the worst year of his life because he'd caught his wife, who he only married a year earlier, being unfaithful with the newborn baby. Remember how serious this is? Yeah? A brand new baby, their lovely little family. They've just got married. They didn't get engaged till December 66. Anything before December 66, I class Elvis as being single. I really do. Elvis wasn't ready to get engaged. Elvis felt that he was still single. So Priscilla didn't move over till 63 when she was nearly 18. So I'll be honest with you guys. I do think times were tough for for Priscilla in 63, 64, and 65. Those 3 years, I think Elvis was a bit cruel to Priscilla and that he was being unfaithful, having different affairs. People like Anne Margaret, we all love Anne Margaret, don't we? And Juliet Prowse and other people. And I put my hands up, and I do think that Priscilla had a tough time in those years, which could have created resentment, maybe the urge for revenge. It was a tough time for Priscilla. I have to be fair to Priscilla. But I will say this, once Elvis, and I've already said this to you guys many times, once Elvis just got engaged in 66, December, and then they did this wedding that we all know about, that's gone around the world, in all the newspapers, on all the news clips, in all the magazines. I do believe that from December 66, in my opinion, Elvis was completely faithful. And in 67, I believe, and you maybe some of you will disagree with this, but I believe Elvis fully intended to be faithful to Priscilla in 1968 because of Lisa Marie. I truly believe that in my heart, that Elvis went into 1968 intending to be loyal and faithful to his small family that has just started. Now, bearing in mind, guys, he committed to the marriage. He committed to the engagement. He fulfilled all his promises to Priscilla. He always said that if they got married, they would have sex. He did say early on that his long-term intentions with Priscilla would be to get engaged to her and get married to her. So all the things that Elvis promised happened. He was true to his promises. He was a good Christian man. He'd made promises. Yes, guys, you message me all the time that Elvis was under a lot of pressure from different things, whether it be the Colonel or Vernon or Priscilla's parents and other things and promises that he'd made. And in his heart, he felt he was obliged to follow through his promises because he was a good man. He was a good man. He was a man of his word. And that's one thing I will say about Elvis. He was a man of his word. Yeah. And so I think he would have been faithful late 66, 67, 68. But then this massive atomic bomb explosion happens. I know I'm repeating the same stuff, guys, at the moment. And that's because I think new people coming onto this channel, new subscribers, new members, and even non-subscribers need to know where we are collectively on this channel. Because remember, we are on this movement together as friends and family. We are united to defend Elvis and searching for the truth so we can defend Elvis. And I think new people need to see what we're doing, where we are, guys. Yeah, do you agree with this? So any of you waking up later, good morning to you, because I know a load of you are asleep at the moment. Welcome, good morning. Let me know your name and let me know where you're from. You probably won't wake up for another 5 hours, but I'll catch you later, guys. Anyway, so don't worry, I know I'm waffling, guys, but I'm going to get to the juicy bits in a second. So Retha, no, have been listening to you for a long time. Okay, Retha, thank you. I like your name, Retha. It's a very cool name. I become a member once I figure out PayPal. Morning, Annie. How are you? You know I love your comments, Annie. Keep them coming. Annie makes me think. She sends me comments. I react to them. I go off. I do my research, and they make me think. I like people disagreeing with me. I don't want you guys to all say, yes, Louis, yes, no. I want you guys to push me to get to the truth. But I tell you what, if you do say something that I don't agree with, I will try hard to get to the truth, whether you like it or not. So, Annie, come on, we're still friends. Morning to you as well. So, as I was saying, I think Elvis was going to be faithful in 67 and in 68. Don't forget, Elvis started 68 with the worst year of his life. Hi, Colleen. Thanks for your comments. I've enjoyed your comments, Colleen. And obviously, Nadia knows I love her comments. And Blue Bunny. All of you are sending me such lovely comments. And I want to go through them. What I've been doing, I've been Photoshop shooting the comments. And I'm going to do a live just on the comments. I was going to do it today, but I got a feeling by the time we go through this, we might have to do that as a part 2 because there's quite a lot to go through. But anyway, as I was saying, so I think Elvis was going to have Elvis. You have my permission to use my comments about his illnesses and necessities and medication. Thank you. I will, Annie. I will definitely. Thank you so much. So anyway, as I was saying, I think Elvis was going in 67, 68. I think Elvis was going to have a really lovely family year in 68. The baby was born. They're newlyweds. They both look amazing, don't they? They've got plans ahead for holidays in Hawaii and other places. They were plans to attend many things, like obviously the Muhammad Ali concerts, Tom Jones concerts, and just they were going to have a fun year in 68. But wham, this nuclear bomb goes off, this earthquake, and Priscilla, I don't know why she did it. Maybe it was because, do you know what? I'd rather you tell me. Why do you think Priscilla was unfaithful to Elvis when the baby was 6-7 weeks old? Because I can't understand it. I cannot understand it. Because I don't think Priscilla wanted out in 68. I think by the time she starts seeing Mike Stone, she has definitely made her mind up that she wants out. I would like to know, because I still haven't found the reason why someone who just got married in 67, May 67, yeah, by 68, Blue Bunny, that could be true. Blue Bunny, that could be true, couldn't it? Blue Bunny, just remind me your name. I've forgotten your name. Is it? It's not Jill, is it? I can't remember. Sorry, please remind. I don't want to be rude. Please tell me. But anyway, so to get revenge, to punish him, maybe just because she couldn't help herself because she fancied men. Jill, I thought it was Jill. Yeah, thanks, Jill. Maybe it was because she just fancied other men. It could be that simple, couldn't it? She just fancied men. She wanted to get naked with men. Yeah. And she couldn't help herself. Yeah. Innit? So anyway. So then the earthquake goes off. Elvis is obviously going crazy. Doesn't know what to do. Can't believe it's happened. It's started to see a whole different side to Priscilla, which we all now are discovering a new side to Priscilla. Obviously, I always show this book because this book shows a completely different side to Priscilla that we have all been slowly coaxed to believe in since the mid-80s. This reinvention of history, this rewriting of the facts. from the point of view of Priscilla, that Elvis had no say in the making of this book, which I think is so unfair. So unfair. There's no one to defend him other than us, the fans. And like I just said, the world has followed this book. The interviewers, the documentaries, the newsreels, the biographies, the movies have all followed this book. How unfair is that to Elvis? How unfair is that to Elvis? That he must be turning in his grave, bless his soul. Yeah? So we're here, guys, to sort of go, this isn't not reality. This isn't fact. This isn't proof. This is a story from Priscilla Presley. That's all it is. And the whole point of this story, in our opinion, in my opinion, is that to portray herself as the innocent victim and to portray Elvis as a groomer, a controller, a paedophile, a drug addict. It's not fair. We're going to stick up for Elvis. It's going to upset some people. It's going to upset some Priscilla fans. Yeah. And I've got nothing against Priscilla fans. You're all welcome on here because I know Priscilla fans are also Elvis fans. I know it. Yeah. And I also do not hate Priscilla. I'm not a Priscilla hater, but we need to research Priscilla so we can get to the truth, guys. How are we going to get to the truth if we don't research the main person that has made Elvis's image be tarnished and has harmed his image? It's that people message me saying, why are we doing so many videos on Priscilla? We have no choice, guys. And obviously we're going to move on to other people like certain Memphis Mafia members, not Larry Geller, not Charlie Hodge, not Billy Smith, but all of the other people we're going to investigate and we're going to defend Elvis. Anyway, let's just read a couple of comments and then I want to get to this. So Elvis Presley, earthquake has gone off. He makes a go of it. He doesn't want to sleep with her. So this lie that he doesn't sleep with a woman that's had a baby is just ridiculous. Which I don't know who started that. Can I ask you guys, who do you think started the rumor that Elvis doesn't sleep with a woman that's had a baby? Because I haven't found the source of it yet. I haven't fully read this book. Is it in this book? Nadia will know. Is it in this book that Elvis doesn't sleep with a woman that's had a baby? Thanks, Annie. But can I ask you, is it in this book? Because I haven't read every chapter yet. There's a possibility that it's in this book. And yes, the Memphis Mafia, I bet they did. Priscilla said it in a book that she was flattered getting attention from the dance teacher. Yes, I think I've read that bit. But Nadia, is there a bit in the book that says that he wouldn't sleep with a woman that's had a baby? Because I want a bit of proof on that, because that's another victory for us. Yeah. Anyway, so then we get to the point of Elvis goes crazy. He makes a go of it. This stupid lie that Elvis will not sleep with a woman that's had a child, which is just ridiculous that the whole world has fallen for, that the whole world keeps repeating. It's one of the most repeated things I hear from any channel, any YouTube channel, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, any biography, any documentary. They're all saying it. Even the interviewers. I've watched so many interviews and more recently, because I've been watching a lot more of the Priscilla interviews. They always ask it, oh, and he wouldn't sleep with you because you'd had a child. And in some of the interviews, she agrees. But then in other interviews, which I showed you yesterday, she says, oh, no, we did still sleep together. You know, I played you the loose woman interview in the UK interviewer. And you're right, Colleen. Thanks, Colleen. All right, have you just become a member? Is that what that is? If you have, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It means everything to me. That is a pat on the back for me. Seriously. Anyway, as I was saying, so then you've got where she, in one interview, she's saying that she, how can I say it, that she did sleep with him after the baby was born. This is Priscilla. In other interviews, she says, oh no, Elvis didn't want to sleep with someone that had a child. Yeah, it's ridiculous, guys. It's ridiculous. And the funny thing is, the first affair that Elvis goes on to have in the 68 comeback special is with Susan Henning, who had a baby. Someone did put me right yesterday. It could have been Annie. Annie, I think it was you. So can I ask you, Annie, was Susan Henning nothing to do with the Live a Little, Love a Little film? I think that's what what Annie was telling me. Is that correct? Because I need to double check those facts, because I don't know why. I read something that he first met Susan Henning on the set of the Live a Little, Love a Little film that he made in 69. Yeah. So 68 they were filming it, I think. So yes, she was in the movie, Louis. She said they dated during the film. All right, so she was. All right, because I was confused if I'd got my facts wrong. Obviously, I know she was selected as one of the dancers, the topless dancers in the comeback specials. Anyway, so we know that in 68, whilst they were filming the 68 comeback special, that he'd got very close and personal with Susan Henning, and that developed into a bit of an on-off relationship that lasted around 18 months, I think. So that just is complete proof that Elvis has no problem with sleeping with a woman that's had a baby. And you guys have already told me about at least one other person that Elvis did sleep with that had a baby. I think it was Deborah Lee. Yeah. So I need to look her up. I don't know much about Deborah Lee, but I think we're going to find some other women that Elvis slept with that had a child. So just so you know, guys, I don't class Elvis as being unfaithful after 68. I actually think after 68, he's made up his mind. The relationship is over. She's done the worst kind of deceit by having sex with the dance instructor, the guy who owned the dance studio, months after the baby was born, a year after the marriage. And Elvis, there's no way he's going back on that. The damage is too serious. And I think any affair that Elvis had after that moment was not being unfaithful. I know that in the eyes of the law, the marriage, he was being unfaithful. But in my mind, Elvis moved on sexually, intimately, away from Priscilla from 68 onwards. Sorry, there's just someone at the door. Can you just get the door? Right, sorted. Right, I'm going to warm this tea up as well, because my tea's gone cold. So it's just me and the dogs, guys. Just me and the dogs at the moment. So I've actually got about half an hour to 45 minutes on my own. Now, I'm purposely teasing you, because when I show you these little clips of Mike Stone, this little recent interview with Mike Stone talking about Priscilla, you're going to love it. So I'm teasing you. I'm making you wait. But we're close now. I'm going to show them any second now. Let me just grab my tea. Nadia, I'm going to put a bit of honey in my tea. Nadia, I'm going to be a bit naughty. Put some honey in my tea. Because it's tasting a bit yucky this morning, so I'm like, I don't mind, because my weight is down at the moment, so I can be a bit naughty. Right, actually, just need to get a bit hotter. So I stumbled on an interview with Mike Stone and one of his karate people. I'm going to give you the name of the channel so that you can look it up. It might have been a link that was sent to me by Guyana. Do you know Guyana? He's one of my subscribers. Or it could have been Lucette. It could have been Lucette. Someone sent me a link to this interview, or I just stumbled on it. And I was shocked just how... hi, Jean. Hiya. I was shocked just how honest Mike Stone was. I'll be honest with you, I do not... You know, when you watch... You know, guys, we're talking about Mike Stone now. You know, when you watch someone being interviewed, and I've watched quite a few interviews with Mike Stone now, there isn't actually that many of him talking about Priscilla. So, you know, you just get a feel for someone, don't you? You get a feel for someone, their personality and their beliefs. And I'll be honest with you, I don't get a good feeling with Mike Stone. He tries to excuse the relationship like it was fine because a human being doesn't belong to another human being. I just find that as an excuse. The bottom line is he committed adultery to his wife. And I also found out, guys, this is news for you, that his daughter was 6 years old. His daughter was 6 years old. Yeah. He makes lots of excuses for his behavior, and he tries to go all spiritual and talk about energy and, you know, that vibration, and that that the universe is controlled by vibration. Yeah. Now, whether that's true or not, if you're a spiritual person, you'll understand. Is it the law of attraction? Have any of you guys heard of the law of attraction? I understand his explanation of the law of attraction, but it isn't right to use the law of attraction or, you know, karma or vibration as an excuse for his behavior with Priscilla. It's disgusting what he did with Priscilla. Even though she sought him out, she did sort him out, and I'm going to prove it to you now, right? It doesn't make it okay to give an excuse that the universe, that you can't control a human being. No, Mike Stone, if you ever watch my interviews, my live streams, no, you were unfaithful to your wife and your 6-year-old daughter, to somebody else's wife who also had a small baby. I mean, a 3-year-old child. That's the truth of it. Don't make excuses. Don't go, oh, people aren't possessions. People are not possessions. It's bullshit, guys. Bullshit. I'm going to show you it in a minute. Right, I want to read your comments first. Priscilla said that her book, that she was flattered getting attention from the dance teacher. I'm going to sound horrible. I think Priscilla was flattered getting attention from any good-looking men. But saying that, Mike Stone wasn't that good-looking. But I don't want to sound too mean, guys. I'm not a Priscilla hater. Right. Let's have a look. So we've got, it was the Memphis Mafia guys that told him that they suspected she was being unfaithful, and he wouldn't listen to and told them, don't talk about my wife. Thanks, Annie. Then we've got Nadia. I don't remember, but I think Priscilla said that they did sleep together after Lisa was born, but it's not clear because she also said they had their own way. They had their own way. Yes. So you've watched the same interview, yeah. But and what is your point, Nadia? It's, to me, we're trying to disprove this stupid lie that Elvis won't sleep with a woman that's had a child. It's ridiculous. And I really want to know who started that lie. And if it's Priscilla, that is so unfair, because she also years later has admitted that they still sometimes may have had sex. I don't know if they had mine, because I'll give you my opinion. I personally don't think Elvis touched Priscilla after she was unfaithful to him whilst they had a small baby. I don't think they did. I think Elvis was like, I ain't touching you, mate. You broke the sacred rule. Yeah. So when she tries to say they may have had sex after 68, I dispute it. But that's just my opinion. I don't know Elvis. I wasn't there. It can only be an opinion. Right, so yes, she was in the movie, Louis. She said they dated John. Right, okay, thanks, Annie. That's good to know that. She was, that's right, yeah, she was a mermaid, a topless mermaid. She's a beautiful girl. She's a beautiful girl. I'm not surprised that Elvis liked her. And I've seen her in interviews. She had a great personality. Thanks, Jean, for agreeing with me. Mr. Stone's new book is coming out. And the Sun said, don't expect anything salacious about yes. And this is in the interviews that I've watched with Mike Stone. I've watched a few. And he says he's not going to say anything that's going to shock people. And he even says that when they parted, they stayed on good terms. She was still phoning him after they split up. He feels that she'd had her use of him. She didn't need him anymore, and she'd moved on. This is what Mike Stone says, she wanted more of an LA Hollywood style lifestyle. Mike Stone thinks that LA, Hollywood and film stars are very fake. He doesn't like them. He didn't want to be around them. He preferred his little goldfish bowl of the karate world. And so they grew apart because she wanted to carry on the fame, the success, the films, the TV, the TV stuff, the glamour stuff, Biss and Bo, the clothing store that she opened. So she had a very ambitious career that she wanted to follow, and Mike Stone wanted nothing to do with that. So they grew apart. But he said they did part on good terms, and he said because of it, when he writes this new book, he won't be slagging Priscilla off. So anyone who's intending to buy his book to hear bad things about Priscilla, he's saying don't buy it because there won't be anything in there that slags her off because they stayed friends. Okay? So there was a woman, I think, like Nadia, there was a woman, I think, who is a twin. She heard that he didn't want to sleep with a woman who had a child. She was Elvis's girlfriend on and off for 3 years and became pregnant and had an abortion. He didn't know. Okay, I'd need, Nadia, this could be true. I'd need to have more evidence on that. Nadia, she wrote that in her book. She also wrote others extremely intimate things about Elvis. No need for it all. So you're saying in the Elvis and Me book, is that right, Annie? So there is a chance it's in the book. So I need to start reading Elvis and Me. I'm going to, but I have to make time to do it. I'll tell you what, you'll be surprised how little time I get in a day because I've got 5 kids and my wife works full time. So it isn't straightforward for me finding times to get on with you guys. Let's have a look. He saw Nadia between 69 and 71, off and on. Even saw her when he went to Washington to visit Nixon. Which girl are we talking about? Because as far as I know, the girl he was seeing when he went to see Nixon was Joyce Bova. Is that right? Joyce Bova? Anyway, right. Elvis was never going to change. Priscilla hoped he would. Well, Annie, I don't agree. See, this is where me and Annie disagree. I don't think so. I think Elvis in the end of 66 and 67 and 68 had changed. I think he was going to give it a go. Now, the second he found her being unfaithful, just after the baby was born, a year after the marriage, yes, he went back to his old ways. Fully accept that. Jane, yeah, Joyce Bover. Thanks, Jane. Welcome to our little family. Are you new? Where are you in the world? Welcome to the rest of us. So Nadia, Joyce, yes, I know about Joyce, and I've done some research about Joyce. I don't know which book she wrote. Let's have a look. There was hardly one in Elvis's life without a woman. Okay, right. So I think we've brought it up to the point. Now, the first video I wanted to show you. Let's just hope this all works. I thought this particular one was very crucial because of what he says. So are we ready, guys? Let's do this. So to you 23 people watching now, please subscribe. Then we can do these live streams together. Right. And hit the notification bell because it tells you when we're coming on. Okay, I don't know about the Joyce book. Be interesting, right? Let me just see.
Here's the word: guilty and ashamed for what she felt like she was cheating and going to.
Right, are we ready? First one.
That she felt. Here's the word: guilty and ashamed for what she felt like she was cheating and going behind Elvis's back. But her intention already, when she first saw me, she admitted years later, when she first saw me fight in Hawaii, at that moment she looked and she said, "That's the guy I want." She admitted this years later. Right? So it was an intention.
Right. I want to play that again because I think it's.
She was going off in that direction. That she felt.
I want to play that again because it's so important. She basically is saying, he is saying, Mike Stone, this is recent, yeah, that when she first saw him, before, quite a while before they started dating, that she fancied him and she was like, I am going to have you. Now, what her reasons were, if it was just sex or if it was because he was very powerful in the karate world, and that he was one of the few people that could stand up to Elvis. We don't know what her thinking was, but I do think it's very crucial. I want to play it one more time.
Here's the word: guilty and ashamed for what she felt like she was cheating and going behind Elvis's back. But her intention already, when she first saw me, she admitted years later, when she first saw me fight in Hawaii, at that moment she looked and she said, "That's the guy I want." She admitted this years later. Right? So it was when she was.
Now that the reason I played that twice is because it's very calculating. It's very. I think they saw him at a karate exhibition, and I think she was with Elvis. But the fact that remember, she's married, yeah. I'm guessing that. No, she would have had Lisa Marie then, yeah. So I'm just reading your comments. So she's married. She's watching Mike Stone, who was this giant champion of his world. Yeah, Elvis really looked up to Mike Stone, thought he was a badass. His own words: "That man is a badass." Everyone really respected him. So she maybe saw the powerful man that if she had an affair with, would be a bridge away from Elvis, because in her mind, by this time, which I think was in 71, by this time, she knew she wanted out. She knew she wanted the relationship to end. Not just a separation, not just a fling. She wanted out. She was like, I'm going to find a way to get out of this relationship with Elvis. She was unhappy. She was very ambitious. She had lots of dreams for the future. And she looked at Mike Stone as a bridge out. And she needed a powerful man that Elvis would be scared of, that would enable her way out. That's what I see from that. So let's go back to the other clips. So you get what I'm saying, guys. This is a very calculating, cunning person that planned her way away from Elvis. Now I think I think that when she was unfaithful with Steve Peck, the dance instructor, in 1968, after the baby was born, after the marriage, I think that was just a fling. That was just about sex and about fancying him. They probably spent too much time together when they were doing the dance lessons, and they're smooching up against each other. Guyana, I hope you get this for a nice cut. Oh, Guyana, come on. That is generous. Thank you so much, Guyana. Thank you. And thank you for all your comments. I do, just so you know, Guyana, I do read every comment that you send me. I read every single one. And I've learned so much from your comments. Is there a name that I can call you? Is your name Guyana, or is there a name I can call you? And I'm definitely going to have some cappuccinos on you. Thank you. And it means a lot to me. It means a lot because it makes me know you like what I'm doing. So anyway, I'll carry on with this. So what I'm trying to say is that she, in 71, from a distance, fancies... Thank you. She fancies Mike Stone. She's like, I want you. You're going to help me get away from Elvis. For whatever reason, yeah, I think that the fling she had with Steve Peck was about, she just spent too much time with him. They got too close. They fancied her. Let's face it, any man that spent too much time with Priscilla was going to, if he had the opportunity, was going to try and have sex with her because she was a sexy young lady that was beautiful. One of the, I would say at that time in the late 60s, in the early 70s, one of the most beautiful women on the planet. Yeah. Men are pretty basic, girls. I'll say this to you, girls. Men are pretty basic. If you got a nice body and you're very pretty and you're sexy, men are weak. So this dance instructor is smitten with this beautiful girl who he's giving dance lessons to, and he starts realizing, oh, I've got a chance here. She's giving me signals that she actually fancies me and wants to have sex with me. Now, what men are going to say no? He was a married man, wasn't he? So to be unfaithful to a woman when you're a married man is much tougher, but he did it. So it just proves the power she had. Priscilla had the powers to seduce, almost any man. I would say that in the 70s, late 60s. Yeah. Do any of you disagree with that? Women hold a lot of power when it comes to sex and seduction. So anyway, so it sounds to me like she was cunning and she had planned it all out. And she was like, I am going to get Mike Stone because he will be a way out, away from Elvis. So let me just go to these. It might be Gianna. It might have been you that sent me this link. Was it you, Gianna? I know you sent me the Beatles links. I got a feeling you might have sent me this link as well, this Mike Stone link. Right, let's go back. Come on, we need to get through these clips because I'm waffling too much. Right, let's
stop there. She turned back and she yelled. Now there were still quite a few people milling around.
Oh, let's have a look.
Troops, like Polynesian shows.
So we just get the right bit.
Just talking, and Priscilla just walked right into our.
Right. So this comment, I'll play it twice because so we don't miss it. Colleen, you're right. It doesn't excuse it. It doesn't. So now remember what we're trying to get at here, guys. Mike Stone at this point does not know Priscilla. He doesn't know her. He knows that her and Elvis had attended some of his events. Obviously, he knows that they're at the event. He's never spoke to her. So this was a complete shock to him that she walks over to him, butts in to a conversation he was having and starts and says, what are you talking about, guys? And that, because she made a beeline for Mike Stone. She saw him from a distance at this event. She'd already had her plan. I'm going to have him, which Mike Stone tells us. And this was the beginning of the cunning plan to get Mike Stone because he was going to be the man that can stand up to Elvis. And I'm going to say it's my opinion and not fact because I cover my back when it comes to YouTube. But it from his mouth, this guy was there. Mike Stone was there. So I think that Mike Stone saying it is evidence. I think that's as close as we are going to get together, you and me, together on our little mission to stand up for Elvis. This is as good as it gets from the horse's mouth. I'm going to play it twice because I think it's very crucial. Let me get it as loud as possible. Right, are we ready, guys?
Conversation and said, oh, so what are you guys talking about? Now, I didn't know she knew detail. So, but she just stuck right in the conversation. I said, oh, so what are you guys talking about? And I was like, man, what's wrong with this girl? She's so rude. Because I just met her for the waving, but now this is after the event.
See, guys? So she walks over. Hi, what are you guys talking about? Doesn't know them. Obviously, he's the champion and he's famous within his own karate world. But this is what is the word to use, guys? When someone is like hell-bent on, right, here is the beginning of my plan. The plan starts. Tell me a word, guys.
Truths, like Polynesian shows. So we were just talking, and Priscilla just walked right into our conversation and said, "Oh, so what are you guys talking about?" Now, I didn't know she knew detail. So, but she just stuck right in the conversation. I said, "Oh, so what are you guys talking about?" And I was like, "Man, what's wrong with this girl? She's so rude." Because I just met her for the waving, but now this is after the event.
Great. I love the fact that that's come from his own mouth. Just to be fair to the YouTube channel that I found that clip on, I just going to say who it is. It's Keith Vitale is the interviewer, and the YouTube channel is called Sidekicks Podcast, hosted by Keith Vitale. So just so you know, guys, there it is. Sidekicks Podcast, hosted by Keith Vitale. And if you watch this, Keith, let's get here. Thank you so much. I've nicked a couple of clips off your channel. Keith Vitale. I don't like to use other people's stuff and then not promote them because I think that's unfair. Right. It's actually a very long video. I think nearly an hour. I've only taken about 6 clips that are only about 10-15 seconds long, so I haven't completely copied it. I've just took the little bits that I think are important to our crusade that we're doing together here. So what we found out so far.
Up there, she went back and she yelled.
Right.
There was still proofs, like Polynesian.
Right. So we've found together. Because remember, the whole point of this channel is that we are doing this together and we're learning as we go together. We're researching together. That is the whole point of this channel. It's not just me, it's us. Yes? So together we have found evidence that she went out of her way to get his attention, to introduce herself. He found her slightly rude, but it did get his attention. Yeah? Now, it then goes on to say that when she left, that she forgot to say goodbye to him. And he was thinking, why didn't she say goodbye? Yeah. And then this is what happened. So he's not expecting her to say goodbye. He found her quite rude because she butted into his conversation. So let's just listen to this next bit.
Stop there. She turned back and she yelled.
Right, let me go.
Stop there. She turned back and she yelled. Now, there were still quite a few people milling around. And she goes, "Good night, Mike Stone." And this is the thing. And
my goodness.
Wow, she's so weird. And he says, "Mike, I think she likes you." I said,
"Yeah, I think so too."
You see? See? Now remember, she doesn't know Mike Stone. Yeah, they've been to watch him. And from a distance, she's admired him, sat with her husband, Elvis, which to me just makes the whole thing even worse. Yeah. So she's with Elvis, her husband. And bearing in mind, they've got a little 3-year-old child at this point. And she sat at an exhibition that he took her there because Elvis was very into the karate world. And secretly, she's got the hots for Mike Stone while she's with Elvis. Come on, guys. Isn't that just wrong on so many levels? She's with Elvis. She's got her child at home. She's at a karate exhibition. And she's pining over Mike Stone, who she doesn't even know. Come on. So wrong on so many levels, guys. And that doesn't make me a hater that I have an opinion that Priscilla's behavior was disgusting. Yeah? I don't hate her. But come on. If that happened, if that was one of your family members, you'd be disgusted as well. Remember, they've got a baby and they're married. They're recently married. Elvis has already caught her being unfaithful with Steve Pett, the dance instructor. So within a couple of years of him catching her being unfaithful in 68, she's at it again in 71. You must be on my side, guys, for that. And if you're a Priscilla fan watching this now, surely you know that that isn't right. Surely you know that her going to a karate exhibition with her husband and there's a baby at home, that her pining over the man while she sat with Elvis is just so bad. It's in England we call it slaggy. Right. Let's just read a couple of comments before I move to the next bit. Annie, she wanted the divorce, not Elvis. I agree. Annie, I agree. At the point of approaching Mike Stone, she's already made up her mind. She needs to find a way to get out. She needs to find it, and she started her plan when she had an opportunity to walk over to Mike Stone and butt into his conversation. She went into gear. Boom! Here we go. Here it goes. Clever, conniving, manipulated. And you're right, Colleen. It doesn't excuse bad behavior. And then we've got, it's not demure, Nadia. And I was a DJ for 26 years. And trust me, I've seen many girls that once they made up their mind they wanted someone, they were going to make it happen. They were going to make it happen. I've watched it many times when I was DJing that some women, this isn't anything against women, mind. I'm just saying I witnessed it as a DJ. Women, if they like someone, they go for it. They go for it. Men do it as well. Yeah. I saw thousands of men do it as well, girls. This isn't a sexist thing because I believe in equality. But she had made up her mind. Boom. I'm having him. He's my way out. So let's also, to be fair, you have to understand this Stone's version of the truth. Okay, I take that on board, Annie. But Stone may be twisting the truth. Maybe just like the Priscilla book. Just like the Priscilla book, it's his version of things. So that's a good comment, Annie. I agree. So Elvis did not want to marry her, waste Elvis's time. This was what she was going to do. This to Elvis was set up, and it was all about sex. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you. That's a good comment. So, Nadia, you say it was about money and power. It's a tough one because he wasn't very wealthy. He was doing okay, Mike Stone. I think in the karate world, he was very powerful and famous in the karate world. But the money thing, it's only about the money, I would say, Nadia. It's only about the money if she was thinking, when we divorce, I'm going to get loads of money. So from that point of view, yes, money. Now, power, did it give her any power? I suppose Nadia, I suppose it gave her power over Elvis because suddenly she had the upper hand, didn't she? She had the upper hand to choose her destiny. So, yeah. So then she was So Jane says it was very calculated. I agree, Jane. It was very calculated. Very, very calculated. Yeah. So let's keep going. Be interesting to hear what the girl who was with Priscilla at the time has to say about the meeting. The girl was Nora Lamar's. Yeah, he meant you've watched the interview then, Annie. Yes. She was with another girl. I'll take a picture of that name so I can look her up. I like to look people up. Thanks, Annie. I'll look that up. Great comment. So then we've got, hi, Philomena. We're just talking about Mike Stone and how Priscilla approached him and before she met him had decided that she was going to get with him and that he was going to be the one that helps her get away from Elvis. So we're discussing that. And we're using short clips of Mike Stone, quite a recent interview that Mike Stone did. Right, so let's go to the next clip. Right, and I've even, off these videos, I've been reading some of the comments, and one of the comments was from one of our subscribers. Let me just see if I can find it. Sapphire Blue. Sapphire Blue, if you're here or if you watch this later, I've got some of your clips off the Mike Stone interview. So let's just listen to the next bit.
I said, oh, we're just going to go next door to have a drink at this
Right.
place called... Stop there. She turned back and she yelled. Now, there were still quite a few people milling around.
So this is the bit. So
you know, like Polynesian show.
I'm not sure if I showed this, but I'll show it again quickly. So Mike Stone thinks that's it. It's all over. You know, he probably won't see her again. She didn't say goodbye, so he found her a bit rude. But then this happens. And this is when he knew. I think I've already played this, but I'm going to play it again for Philomena.
Stop there. She turned back and she yelled. Now, there were still quite a few people milling around. And she goes, good night, Mike Stone. And this is the thing. And
Oh, my goodness.
Wow, she's so weird. And he said, Mike, I think she likes you. I said,
Yeah, I
what?
think so too.
Yeah.
My
So I know I think I've already played that, but it doesn't matter because I do think it's relevant that we play it again. She's in. She's in. She has cast the hook into the sea to catch the fish, and Mike Stone was the fish. Now remember, this is a very beautiful woman that knows that most men, if she gives the right signals, are gonna, even married men, because don't forget he was married with a 6-year-old girl. Yeah, she still had the confidence to think I can get you, even though he was this very intelligent karate master, very famous in the karate world, obviously extremely powerful guy. She set her sights high when it comes to the type of man that she was going to use to get her away from Elvis.
Oh. So I said, oh, we're just going to go next door to have a drink at this place called the Tiki Club on Sherman Oaks or Ventura Boulevard. So she goes, oh, do you mind if we come along? So I was shocked too, and Chuck was also shocked because apparently she'd been taking classes there for a while, and I don't think this has ever happened.
See, I'm going to play that again. I like to play these clips twice so that we really absorb it. But she basically has managed to get herself into a position where they're going to go for drinks and they're going in Mike Stone's car. I think she does have a friend with her. It could be Nora Lamar's, couldn't it? So she's in there now. The plan is unfolding. Yeah? So let me just read this comment. Stone didn't really want her, wanted the notoriety of being associated with her. They worked together. Annie, I understand what you're saying about the notoriety. You know, look, the fact, you know, it's Elvis's wife. I get that. But come on, we're talking about a very beautiful woman here, a very sexy, beautiful woman. So he's a man. Come on, men are weak. No offense, men. If there's any men watching, sorry to call you weak. And you know, he's a younger man as well. Now, of course, he has a dilemma because he's married with a 6-year-old girl. Yeah, but hey, if we go by Mike Stone's words, oh, nobody is a possession. Nobody is a possession. No one owns anyone. What a load of rubbish. So get out. Once Mike Stone, in my opinion, could see that this very beautiful, sexy woman that was Elvis's wife, so a very famous woman, wanted to get naked with him, Mike Stone went, ping, I'm a man. I'm going to do what men do. That's what I believe. Yes, I believe Priscilla is more attractive to men because she was Elvis's woman. I agree with that. She definitely was. I'm telling you guys, I'm going back to the 70s and when I was a bit older in the 80s. She's a sexy, beautiful girl. It doesn't matter what our feelings are of Priscilla. When she was in the 70s and 80s, she was a bloody good-looking girl. Trust me, sexy, good-looking girl. And I'm saying that from a man's point of view. Men can be very basic. Remember, I worked in pubs and nightclubs and discos for 30 years. I know exactly what goes on with men and women. Right. Okay. Thanks, Annie. Thanks a lot. You take care, Annie. Thanks for your input. It's really interesting. Right. So this.
John said, oh, we're just going to go next door to have a drink.
Right. So I'll play that bit one more. It's when she gets in the car.
said, oh, we're just going to go next door to have a drink at this place called the Tiki Club on Sherman Oaks or Ventura Boulevard. So she goes, oh, do you mind if we come along? So I was shocked too, and Chuck was also shocked because apparently she's been taking classes there for a while, and I don't think this has ever happened.
So she's wangled herself into the car. They're going for drinks. It's began. The affair is close to beginning. He knows damn well now that she's after him. She's making a beeline for him. Yeah. So hi, Linda. Nice to have you on board. I read all your comments. Thank you for your great comments that you send me. Good morning to you. You are in San Angelo, Texas, and it's 5:30 a.m. So you're up early, yeah, in the morning and watching us. Thank you, and God bless to your family as well. And I really appreciate your input on this channel. And I read all your comments, Linda, and welcome to our family. Right, let's go to the next one.
Well, where's Priscilla? I looked, and she's in the back seat, and she went like this. Patted the seat like, come sit here. I was like, what? I said, Chuck, it's okay? He said, yeah. So I went in the back with Priscilla, sit down. And when we went to this tiki thing, then everybody was much more relaxed, and her tone changed a lot. She was a lot more friendly and really very nice. So we met.
I think when he says a lot more friendly and really very nice, flirting, and he likes her, yeah? Really. Bye, Colleen. Are you off? Oh, no, you're staying, Colleen, yeah? Are you staying? Right, okay. Sorry, got that wrong. Right. You're saying goodbye to Annie. Sorry, got the wrong end of that. Right. So he's basically saying her tone was friendly and she was really very nice. Susan Bloor, hiya, how are we going? My member, hello, Susan. I love it when my members join in. It's great. We've got Colleen and Susan Bloor, and we've got a couple of new members joined us in the last half an hour, which I love. Thank you so much for joining our channel. Hi, Diane. We're talking about Mike Stone, and we're talking about how Priscilla had spotted him and had made a beeline to get to know him, and how things unfolded and how the relationship started. So you're going to probably have to watch it from the beginning, but we're learning as we go and we're learning together. So I'll just play that one again.
Well, where's Priscilla? I looked, and she's in the back seat, and she went like this. Patted the seat like, come sit here. I was like, what? I said, Chuck, it's okay? He said, yeah. So I went in the back with Priscilla, sit down. And when we went to this tiki thing, then everybody was much more relaxed, and her tone changed a lot. She was a lot more friendly and really very nice. So we met.
Hi, Philomena. I hope you're well. Diane, just remind me where you're from, Diane. I'd like to know what countries you're from. And Philomena, are you doing good? Philomena is one of my members. Hiya, Philomena. Thank you for joining us. Right, so it begins now. He's with Chuck Norris. Priscilla makes sure that she's in the back seat where Mike Stone has to sit next to her. And she taps the seat with her hand. Come and sit here, Mike. So this is the beginning, guys. The beginning. Right, UK Southeast. Oh, yes. Yeah, I remember. Is that Northampton, Diane? Is it? Just remind me. So next.
But she persisted in asking me for my phone number so she could call me up about coming to take lesson. And she's saying,
where was Elvis? Excuse me, where was Elvis, her husband, at this time?
At home.
Was he on tour?
No, he was at the house in Hillcrest. Oh no, at this time he was probably not there. I'm talking about the time at the international tournament.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure he was
time,
touring all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I know Elvis was there because Jerry Schilling was responsible.
So, you know, it's a bit chit-chatty, but the bottom line is it's beginning now, isn't it? It's that it's very, very close to them becoming how can I put it? It's the early stages of her seducing him. That's how I see it. So, all right, Sussex. Yeah, I'm in Weston-super-Mare near Bristol. Weston-super-Mare near Bristol. I know we've spoke a few times, Diane. Colleen, you're so right. This is a woman that has made a beeline for a man who is married with a 6-year-old daughter, and she has a 3-year-old daughter, and she's married. It's wrong on so many levels. And don't forget, Colleen, she's already caught him being unfaithful. I mean, Elvis has already caught her being unfaithful in 1968, just after Lisa Marie was born. So this is seriously bad. If anything, she should still be trying to make amends. Yeah. But don't forget, by this point, he doesn't class their marriage as a real marriage. And Elvis is getting on with his life. Elvis has had other girlfriends. She's probably fully aware that Elvis is seeing other people like Susan Henning and other people. So she probably feels quite stupid, Priscilla, yeah. She probably feels embarrassed, and she feels that the whole marriage is fake. So she's trying to find a way out. But we have to also weigh in. Why did Elvis get to this point where he was like, the relationship is over? I'm not being loyal to you anymore. Because she'd had sex with Steve Pett, the dance instructor, the guy who owns the dance studio, after a couple of months of the baby being born. So Elvis is I think Elvis is living a single life. From 68 onwards, Elvis is living a single life. Obviously, we know that from 68 onwards, Elvis went into a very, very successful part of his life. Yeah. So you've got the 68 comeback. Then in 69, he goes on to the Vegas comeback, and he's looking his best. Everyone's falling at his feet. I would say this was nearly as big a comeback as what he had in 56. He was riding high. I'll be honest with you, because Priscilla had betrayed him, I don't think he felt that I think he felt that was a good excuse for him to just have all his different relationships. So I'm not going to paint Elvis as an angel, mind. He was no angel. He loved the ladies. The ladies loved him. And he was being naughty. And I think Elvis from 68 onwards was very naughty. Yeah, very naughty. He loved all the different relationships he had. And there's quite a few. He treated them all like angels. But Priscilla to him was the woman who had betrayed him whilst they had a baby. I think this is just my opinion. This is how I think Elvis felt. I will also quickly mention that Elvis, when Priscilla first moved over, when she was nearly 18, still saw himself as a single man. So 63, 64, 65, in my opinion, Elvis treated Priscilla quite badly, as if he was still a single man. So I want to get the whole picture in here, the whole picture. I'm not all anti-Priscilla. I know Priscilla also had difficult times with Elvis in the early 60s. And after 68, after he'd caught her being unfaithful with Steve Pett, she had a tough time. I want to be fair. You give me your opinion, guys. Let's have a look. I did read that somewhere that Elvis Presley said that she was to leave Elvis. He needs to be a strong person who could, yes. And I've read that a few times, and we'll see now. It's in Mike Stone says it as well. We'll find that in a second. So then she was so very manipulative and did what she had to get her own way. I think Susan, once she made up her mind, she wanted out and she wanted a divorce. I think Priscilla did make up her mind that she wanted a divorce. I don't think that Priscilla, I think regardless of meeting Mike Stone or pursuing Mike Stone, she wanted a divorce. She had made up her mind. I'm having a divorce. And then it was, right, how am I going to get a divorce? Who's going to help me get away from Elvis? And when she's trying to come up with her cunning plan to get her divorce, don't forget, she knew financially she was going to be sorted for the rest of her life. She was looking for the man that was going to open that door so she could get away from Elvis. And it happened to be Mike Stone. It happened to be Mike Stone. And this is just my opinion. I'm not saying it factually. We are allowed an opinion. We're allowed this. And in my opinion, She was looking to find a way out, and Mike Stone was her choice. So, Guyana. Hi, Guyana. Let's just have a look. Members of the Memphis Mafia have confirmed that Elvis would never say a bad word of Priscilla Bulow, and he didn't. He didn't like to be married, and he was okay with open marriage. Right. I fully agree that Elvis never said anything bad about Priscilla Bulow. He did. I've looked and looked. You won't see Elvis saying anything bad about Priscilla Bulow. He was so decent in that way that he wanted publicly to be seen respectful to Priscilla and to Lisa Marie. I also accept, Guyana, that really he didn't really want to get married. He wasn't ready for marriage. He didn't want to be married, and marriage didn't suit him. Now, with the open marriage, I've had that. A few people have commented to me about the fact that it was an open marriage. I think Annie suggested it as well. I don't know about that because I can't imagine a very proud man like Elvis being happy that she was sleeping with other people. So it's a bit of a debate there. What do you guys think? Do you think Elvis would accept an open marriage with Priscilla? That'll be in 68, 69, and 1970 and 71. Please let me know in your comments. Whether Mike is lying or not, the end result is that she did pursue him and get him. Yes, that is fact. That is fact. She was beeline. I'm having him. I'm getting him. For whatever reason, he is her target. He was her target and she got him. Love these vids. I watch the replays every day. Such an eye-opener. Thank you, Kat. Where are you, Kat? I'm so pleased that you've joined in. I love it. You guys, please join in. I want to know who you are. We are friends. We are family. We're united to defend Elvis. We are searching for the truth together. We are learning together. To any of you watching, please subscribe. 78% of you are not subscribed. So please subscribe. Please hit the notification bell. Very important. So we come together on these lives. And if you want to be a member, it's only $1 a month, guys. It's nothing. It's pennies. $1 a month, and we are members. And then we can start doing some live streams for just members as well, which will be nice. Let's have a look. What's that? The dog. Right, the dog wants to go out. What's the matter? Just let the dog out to the toilet. All right, go on then. He's so cute. Right, shh. He's so cute, right? My dogs bark at me to open the door. That's how they talk to me. They bark at me to open the door. So let's have a look. Kat, I really appreciate your compliment. So kind of you. Thank you. Let me know where you're from, Kat. So we've got Joyce Bover. Book is Nothing Lasts Forever. A lot of it was awful. Private was it true? I don't believe. Well, I haven't read the book, Eileen, but welcome aboard, Eileen. Thanks for joining us. Eileen's one of our members. Elvis did not care. Elvis did not care. I think when it comes to partners, after 68, Elvis didn't care. I agree. I think after 68, it was like, I'm going to do what I want. You had sex with someone just after Lisa Marie was born. You don't even count as a wife anymore. It was all a big show. It was all a big charade. So when they were spending couple of years together, going to different events, it was very fake news. Diane, in my view, there was a slight difference. Elvis fooled around, but Priscilla had affairs. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, so Elvis was just getting on with his life, having a bit of fun, enjoying the fame, enjoying the attention, the adoration, because he'd gone through a period through making the movies where he felt that his fame was slipping away from him. Then in 68, it all comes back. He's getting all this attention, adoration. He's at the top of his game. So for him, it was fun. Where Priscilla, she was looking for a future partner. Is that what you're saying, Diana? Priscilla was like planning her future. Linda said E was faithful for a year. And Memphis Mafia and Billy Smith said that he couldn't stay faithful to one woman for a long time. And Billy said 5 years was cut-off point because of common law marriage. I see what you're saying. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. Do I think Elvis could stay faithful long term, even if Priscilla had not slept with Steve Peck, the dance instructor. Now, this is a big question from my opinion. Do I think Elvis was going to be faithful to Priscilla after 68, after Lisa Marie was born, if Priscilla stayed faithful? And I'll be honest, you guys, I don't think Elvis, the superstar, was cut out for marriage. I honestly don't think Elvis was going to stay faithful. But I will say this. If Elvis had not become a superstar, if Elvis was not a singer, I think he would have been the best husband, the best dad, and the best family unit. I think Elvis would have been a great husband and would have had lots more children if he had not become famous. I think fame changed Elvis, because we know from his humble upbringing in Mississippi, Tupelo, and he went to church every week with his parents. He was a God-fearing Christian. He loved the Bible. I think Elvis, not famous, 100% would have been a faithful, loyal husband and a great dad and would have had a large family. But Elvis, the superstar, the movie star, nah. Marriage wasn't for Elvis. There's a big difference. Pre-54 and after 54. Two different Elvises. Yeah, Mike Stone's wife said Priscilla Bureau. Yes, and in the clips I've got, Mike Stone says that his wife warned him that Priscilla was just using him. I repeat that. Mike Stone says from his own mouth that his wife warned him that Priscilla was just using him to get away from Elvis. Australia. We love Australia, Kat. We love it. What part of Australia are you in? She must have had a heart of stone. Eileen, to sleep with a man, Steve Peck, the dance instructor, 2 months after the baby's born, you've got to have a heart of stone. You've got to, because it's as bad as it gets. You can't get worse than that. Bearing in mind they'd only recently been married. Come on. It's extreme. It's extreme. In our opinion, Elvis loved romance and not sex. Yeah. I would say a bit of both, Eileen. I would say he loved company, he loved women, he loved romance, and sex was part of it. I don't think sex was the main thing Elvis was after. I've never thought that Elvis was just driven by sex. I think it was the friendships, the companionships, and the closeness that he would get from these different ladies that he would fall in love with. I think Elvis fell in love quite easily. He was a real softie. From all the interviews I've seen, he was a real softie, Elvis. He was lovely and caring and considerate and kind and funny and cuddly. You see that in the video with Susan Hennin, the way they're all canoodling together in the 68 comeback. Elvis was not the marrying kind. I agree later. I think before 1955, before he became famous, he probably was the marrying kind. We know about Dixie. But after 55, you're right, Teresa. He definitely was not. I agree with you 100%. He would have been an amazing husband had he not been so famous. This is Yasmin, by the way. Hi, Yasmin. My daughter is called Yasmin. My daughter, she's 7 years old. She's at school. She's called Yasmin. And you're in Egypt. Now, that is a coincidence. I've got a twin, Yasmin, I've got a twin brother called Andreas, and his daughter is in Egypt right now. Right now, in Cairo as well. Cairo, Egypt. Now, isn't that crazy? Welcome, Yasmin. Welcome to our family. Please subscribe. Please hit the notification bell so you get the notifications when we go live on the live streams, because you are now part of our family. We welcome you to our family so we can defend Elvis and search for the truth. I think maybe Gladys had lived right. So, Kat, let's have a look. Eileen. Elvis never would have agreed to an open marriage. Yeah, Eileen, I don't think so either. He's too proud, isn't he? He's too proud, yeah? So I'm on your side, Eileen. I think maybe if Gladys had lived, things may have been different. Yes, we know that. We know that. Gladys would have kept him in the straight and narrow. He was a teddy bear. He was, though. He was. He was. If I was a girl, I'd want to be with Elvis. Thank you so much. How amazing. I haven't subscribed and I have the bell on. Yes, good. And that way, when we get when I go live, because I can't give you times, you'll get a ping and we can all come together. Thanks, Yasmin. Excellent. But if you like what you see, please join. It's only $1 a month, and I want you to be members because I'm going to do some lives with just members. Right, let's quickly play another video before I go because we've been on for ages. I've got a couple more. Let's have a look.
When she was going off in that direction, that's what I was exposed to, and I didn't like it. We just got to a point when whatever her reason and agenda was, she now started to.
Right, here we go.
They're not going to have a trial period.
A lot of praise about, she felt trapped in that relationship.
Was she?
Sorry, one sec.
She was very unhappy. She,
right.
Like a grain of sand. That is the truth. But in that particular instance, she may have seen something in me that she thought.
Right, so
anything that isn't out there for someone that is.
There's some good clips here, guys. I want to go through them.
That they can research and find. And then eventually got it when the word. But she persisted in asking me for my phone number.
Right,
so
here we go. Let's start from here. Right, so this.
I looked and she's in the back.
So this shows you, guys. So this is going to show you how she was pursuing Elvis. So I truly watched Billy Smith saying about the 5-year relationship. I believe he let Linda leave because of that. All right. Thanks, Guyana. Thank you. Right. Are we ready, guys?
But she persisted in asking me for my phone number so she could call me up about coming to take lesson. And she's
where was Elvis? Excuse me. Where was Elvis, her husband, at this time?
At home.
Was he on tour?
No, he was at the house in Hillcrest. Oh no, at this time he was probably not there. I'm talking about the time at the international tournament.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was touring all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I know Elvis was there because Jerry Schilling was responsible.
Let's go. I want to go to I want to skip through the clips a bit because we're getting on for 2 hours. So let's go to the next one.
And then eventually got it when the word, we were, imagine this, Keith, we were physically dating for over a year that nobody knew about it. Only my students. Now, if you talk about loyalty, that's loyalty. Nobody said anything to anyone.
Now that is important, yeah? He has just said, this is, for guys, for us, this is evidence. For the 27 people watching now, this is evidence that they were secretly seeing each other for a year. This is really important. This is why we're trying to search for the truth so we can defend Elvis. He is admitting that before Elvis even found out about this affair, obviously this drove Elvis crazy, that they were seeing each other for a year. And this is the first proof I've seen, because it comes from the horse's mouth, that, because we all know about 1972, don't we? We all know that in 1972, she had told Elvis about the affair and that she wanted out. And then Elvis went mental and he wanted a divorce. So I'm going to play it again because it's so important. So if there's any of you Priscilla fans watching this, and Priscilla fans are very welcome to my channel. I do not hate Priscilla. I'm just trying to get to the truth. Please listen to what he is now quickly saying.
And then eventually got it when the word, we were, imagine this, Keith, we were physically dating for over a year that nobody knew about it. Only my students. Now, if you talk about loyalty, that's loyalty. Nobody said anything. That
is so crucial. I'm going to play it again because it means so much to me, because it really hits a chord with me. They were physically dating for over a year before Elvis found out. God, doesn't that say everything? So when people tell me off for doing videos about Priscilla and saying that the truth of how badly she treated Elvis. Hi, Linda Page. Hi, hope you're well. That's a new name. Hi, Linda. So when people say to me, oh, why are you doing videos about Priscilla? It's a bit tight. It's a bit cruel. I'm like, no. She went out of her way to really hurt Elvis, to really harm him. And don't forget, this is the second affair. She'd already had an affair with Steve Peck, the dance instructor, that Elvis really had forgiven her for. So I'll play it one more time, then we'll go to the next clip.
Interested in asking me for my phone number so she could call me up about coming to take lesson. And she's saying,
where was Elvis? Excuse me, where was Elvis, her husband, at this time?
At home.
Was he on
Oh,
tour?
it's the wrong one. Next.
And then eventually got it when the word, we were, imagine this, Keith, we were physically dating for over a year that nobody knew about it. Only my students. Now, if you talk about loyalty, that's loyalty. Nobody said anything to anyone.
Okay, so there's 33 of you watching now. That is as good as it gets, guys. That's the evidence for you. Black and white, we've done this together, guys. That is it. She was seeing Elvis for Mike Stone for a year behind his back. We don't get told that. When you watch Priscilla being interviewed on like Piers Morgan or the UK interviewers, hi Kathy, you okay? So did Elvis get with Linda in December 71? And Elvis may have told her in his marriage was over. Right. I think Nadia, I think it was sooner than that. I think the first time they met was May. I think when she went to watch him at an exhibition. Now, how long after May did she go out of her way and introduce herself to Mike Stone? I'm not sure. Well, he's definitely a character, Colleen. Definitely a character. So, solid heroes, Geo. Yes. Thanks for joining in today. From the horse's mouth. So,
and then eventually,
I love that he said that. I love that he's admitted that they were secretly seeing each other for a year, because for me, it exonerates Elvis. It makes Elvis, finally, we can show Elvis in a better light. All these interviewers that interview Priscilla, they just go, oh, yeah, Barbara Walters was one. Oh, yeah, so you started to see Mike Stone. And then she says, yes, and changes the subject. She doesn't go into detail. She doesn't go into detail and say, oh, yeah, the reason I started seeing Mike Stone was this, and this. She does, I think she does in this book, but on interviews, she skips over it. I was happy, Elvis was unfaithful, so I started seeing Mike Stone. Yeah, it's just rubbish. She doesn't talk about, in these interviews that we see all over the world, when she talks about Elvis, and she regularly praises Elvis, doesn't she? She praises Elvis, yeah? But then when she starts talking about why they split up, she never says, oh, by the way, I was dating the dance instructor, and then within 2 years, I ran off with Mike Stone. She never says it. She makes it sound like she was a victim and that Elvis forced her to do it, and that the reason she started seeing Mike Stone is because she was so unhappy because Elvis was cruel to her. That's basically what she says. That she's the good guy, Elvis is the bad guy. But the truth is, Elvis was the victim. In my opinion, guys. Let's see.
Anything that isn't out there for someone that is honestly curious, that they can research and find out the truth. She was not happy in Graceland. Why? When you're kept, listen, there's a situation that happened 2 years ago. There's some Saudi kings.
All right, I'm not going to play that bit. So I'll play the beginning of that bit. She was not happy in Graceland.
Anything that isn't out there for someone that is honestly curious, that they can research and find out the truth. She was not happy in Graceland. Why? When you're kept, listen,
see,
there's a situation that
she was not happy in Graceland. Now, this is more to the truth, isn't it? Because he was with her for 3 to 4 years. He knows the truth, yeah? And she wanted out. At some point, Priscilla, she comes out with her thing. Oh, I wanted to find myself. I'd lost myself. My life was so tough living in Graceland in this mansion and being given anything I wanted. My life was unbearable and I had to leave Elvis out. Poor me. When we know the real reason is, in our opinion, my opinion, she fancied men. She wanted money. She wanted career opportunities. She wanted to be famous. She wanted to be a movie star. She wanted to do TV. She wanted to open her own salon, clothing salon. She wanted to promote perfumes and shampoos. And Elvis and Priscilla had her own agenda. She was like, I see a massive future for myself, and I can't do it whilst I'm under the shadow of Elvis. I want out. And he has just said she was very unhappy and she wanted out. Evidence, guys, evidence. That everything I say is my opinion and some of your opinion. So Elvis met Linda in July 72. He told Priscilla to look Lisa and left. Priscilla took Lisa and left Christmas 71. Okay. He spent her birthday, so August the 1st, 72, without his family. Right. That gives us a bit of a timeline. So I'll look at the one that matters is the Christmas 71. So yes, I would say from what you just said, Diana, by Christmas 71, the cat's out the bag. Is that right? Cat's out the bag and he knows. Do you think that, Diane, that by Christmas 71 he knew? But yes, she wants to get buried at Graceland, but yet she didn't like living at Graceland. It's true though, Kathy, isn't it? It's true that when you look at the circumstances of them two splitting up, they're so horrific. Everything that happened, she really did trample all over Elvis, his ego and his pride had been smashed. She definitely had fallen for another man, Mike Stone. Yeah. But then to say that she's always loved him and that he was the love of her life, it doesn't make sense. She was with Marco Garibaldi Garcia for 20 odd years and she's had many other relationships. So to keep saying that Elvis is the love of her life and she still loves him and she spends her whole life promoting Elvis. Yeah. It's like, it doesn't add up, guys. It doesn't add up. It doesn't fit because they did divorce. She did run down the road with Lisa Marie and she took Elvis's child away from him. Yeah. She broke two families up. She broke Mike Stone's family up and she broke her own family up. So to then years later be saying, oh, he was the love of my life. I love him so much. He was so special. Our life was so amazing. But then we have Mike Stone saying she was really unhappy and she wanted out. None of it fits. None of it fits. I just see very cruel behavior from Priscilla towards Elvis, but I will also accept that Elvis was no angel and that Elvis did things as well that he shouldn't have done. I have to throw that in there because I want to be fair. He said she was not unhappy at Graceland. Who said that? Nadia, who said that? Right, so I know doesn't that drive you crazy? Sorry, the messages are jumping. Let's have a look. But she wants to get buried at Grace, right? That's Kathy. So then she left for him. She must not concede. Right, so Linda, she left Elvis for him. She must not concede good. Linda, she definitely left Elvis for Mike Stone. She made a beeline. She made up her mind. She was going to get Mike Stone. Thanks, Linda. He said she was not unhappy at Graceland. No, I'm not sure what that comment is, Nadia. She definitely was unhappy. Priscilla had made up her mind. She was out of there. She had her own agenda. She had her own future planned out. Colleen, I know doesn't that drive you crazy? There's so much to remain relevant because without the Presley connection, she is nothing. And you Elvis fans are completely correct that people like the Memphis Mafia, not all of them, and Priscilla, they would have just stayed normal people. They would have had completely normal lives if it wasn't for Elvis. All these opportunities, all these doors that opened for the Memphis Mafia and for Priscilla would not have opened. They would just They just would have had normal lives. They owe Elvis a lot. Mike Stone said she chased him. Kathy, 100%. 100% Kathy, she chased Mike Stone. Right, we'll get into the end of it now. I've really enjoyed today. It's been really good. I've still got a couple more clips, I think.
Trial period apart that she...
A lot of praise about, she felt trapped in that relationship with
Right,
Elvis.
here we go.
And then
Let's just say this, right?
a lot of praise about, she felt trapped in that relationship with Elvis, and then you opened up her eyes, and showed her a whole different world that she wasn't exposed to before. So, she had nice things to say that way. But during your relationship, how did you get along with her? Was it a happy relationship?
So he's asking how they got on in the relationship. Actually, I think I'll play that bit again. But Nadia, no, Mike Stone has just said that she was very unhappy at Graceland. So let's play this clip again.
Praise about, she felt trapped in that relationship with Elvis, and then you opened up her eyes, and showed her a whole different world that she wasn't exposed to before. So, she had nice things to say that way. But during your relationship, how did you get along with her? Was it a happy relationship?
Yes, fantastic. Listen, the book I'm writing right now.
See, look, so Mike Stone makes it clear that while they were together, they had some very good years together. Don't forget, they were together, I think, as long as 4 years. So they were properly in love. They had a proper relationship. She had properly moved on, but she eventually got bored of Mike Stone. He ceased to be useful. She ran out of use for Mike Stone. In my opinion, guys, it's not fact, it's opinion. Yeah. So we're allowed to have opinions. Right. Okay. Let's.
They're not going to have a trial period apart. That she wanted a complete severance of the relationship, completely, to a divorce. He was furious. So, and I can understand that. When you're the wealthiest, the handsomest, the most famous guy in the world, I can understand. Your ego is totally crushed. When your wife tells you she's going to leave you for nobody that is ugly and has no money.
Get it? Right, I'm going to play that again because it's too important. I'll play it again, then we'll discuss it.
Trial period apart, that she wanted a complete of the relationship, completely, to a divorce. He was furious. So, and I can understand that. When you're the wealthiest, the handsomest, the most famous guy in the world, I can understand. Your ego is totally crushed. When your wife tells you she's going to leave you for nobody that is ugly and has no money.
Well, of course Elvis went mad. Of course he went crazy. And was she getting revenge, guys? Was it revenge? Was she getting back at Elvis for the times when he had mistreated her? I get a feeling she was. I get a feeling she was, yes, finally I'm on top. I think this is what was going on with Priscilla. I think she had a lot of pleasure in the way that she treated Elvis. And the fact that he went crazy, we know the rumors that he supposedly asked one of the Memphis Mafia to kill him, which we know was just done out of anger anyway. But she was like, ha ha, got you. I really believe that, guys. In my opinion, really believe that. Let's go to the next. Let me just read this. It drives me mad because in the divorce settlement, she was not supposed to use the name Presley. But after Elvis, Vernon, and Dodger dies, there was no one to stop her. She dropped Buelow when Elvis died. I agree. Diana, I agree. Everything you've just said, yes. I think she had an agenda from day one when she met Elvis. Now, Colleen, I want to comment more on that when I've read more of this book. Yeah, but that's a whole live stream in itself. But I completely understand what you're saying, Colleen. So Eileen says, in my opinion, she's very false. I look at her as being very conniving, very conniving. She really thinks it all through and plans it all out. I'm like that in business. In business, I plan things. Like, I'm not conniving because I'm not a mean person. I've got a good heart. But when I make a plan for something, I plan it. I write it all down. I'm going to do this, 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 and this. This is how I'm going to achieve my goal. I think Priscilla was very cunning. Very cunning. That's what I think. She had a right. Nadia, right. I can. Is that right? Sorry. Jane, I agree. Diana, vindictive, is saying she's vindictive. Eileen is saying she's false. Then we've got Kathy. I don't think she really loved Elvis and just saw dollar signs. I think more than likely, Kathy, there was infatuation there. Infatuation. Now, was it proper love? In hindsight, I would say no. In hindsight, yeah. So infatuation is quite a powerful emotion, though, isn't it, Kathy? She had a falling out with Mike and called Elvis, wanting to come home. Elvis said, "Don't take that for granted." Yep, I know all about that. I would still want it proved, though, Nadia. I'd still want to prove it. It seems that she wanted to hurt him. Vanessa, I get that feeling as well. I get the feeling there was some revenge here because of how she felt through the early 60s, because Elvis was naughty in the early 60s. When she first moved to America, Elvis was being naughty. I also think that when Elvis left Germany in 59, and that year that she, that time that she was in Germany, she knew Elvis was possibly seeing Anita Wood and other people. So yeah, revenge definitely could be an issue here. Guyana, so true. She had an agenda. She even made her mother's mind to convince her father to let Priscilla Bueller meet Elvis. And I've heard this, Guyana, and by the sounds of what we're reading in Child Bride, that the mother was very involved in this whole process of her moving to America. Yeah, is that right, Guyana? So then we've got Teresa is saying Priscilla never loved Elvis. It was all about money. Thanks, Teresa. I think many of you feel that way. So we've got, right. So we're just getting to the end now. We could talk all day, couldn't we, guys? Elvis, what happened? Confirms what is said. Yeah. So Guyana, you've got the Elvis What Happened book. I really want to get that book. The problem we've got, Guyana, is that book's like £100. And I ain't going to pay £100 for a book. So I'm going to wait till one comes up cheap. So Kathy, Billy Smith confirmed that Priscilla had a fight with Mike and called Elvis asking to come back and told Billy that he told her that you've had your chance. And he told, yes, I've read this, Kathy. I've read this. Are you saying that Billy said it? Because I'd like to see that. I want to see that. I want to see Billy saying it because that to me is evidence. We need evidence, guys. We need to prove what we're saying. So thank you, Kathy. I'll look for that, Kathy. Elvis wrote it himself in his divorce deposition. Nadia, you've mentioned that a few times. I haven't found the divorce deposition. Haven't found it. I've been looking for it. I haven't found it. I want to find it. I don't use a library. Colleen, you need to understand something about me. I don't like reading. I do not like reading. I struggle to read these books. Reading isn't my thing. I prefer to get the information from you guys and then look for documentation or PDFs on Google or wherever I can get it. Let's have a look. Right, let's see. Have I got any more clips? Let's have a look. We're getting to the end of it now, I think.
To a point when whatever her reason and agenda, they're not going to have a trial period apart.
Right, let's try this one.
Have a trial period apart, that she wanted a complete severance of the relationship, completely, to a divorce. He was furious. So, and I can understand that. When you're the wealthiest, the handsomest, the most famous guy in the world, I can understand. Ego is totally crushed. When your wife tells you she's going to leave you for a nobody that is ugly and has no money.
Yeah, so we've already watched that, but she wanted a complete separation. A complete separation. Let's go to the next clip.
We just got to a point when whatever her reason and agenda was, she now started to move off in that direction. When she started to feel comfortable about herself, she was now divorced. She was now free. People in Hollywood knew she was free. She was available. She opened up Biz and Bo, the clothing store, so she had more contact with people. Listen to this. Priscilla never introduced me to a friend of hers other than Joanne. I've never met a friend of Priscilla in the 4 years I've been with her. All of her friends were my friends.
I didn't know that Priscilla was good friends with Joanna Lumley. I didn't know that. I know that she did an interview with her years and years later, like a little mini thing, I think, for the BBC. But I didn't know they were friends. So basically, he's basically saying what I think it's very telling. This little clip is very telling. I'm going to play it again.
We just got to a point when whatever her reason and agenda was, she now started to move off in that direction. When she started to feel comfortable about herself, she was now divorced. She was now free. People in Hollywood knew she was free. She was available. She opened up Biz and Bo, the clothing store, so she had more contact with people. Listen to this. Priscilla never introduced me to a friend of hers other than Joanne.
That's it. I think that clip just speaks for itself, doesn't it? It speaks for itself. It's quite upsetting, really. But anyway, let's go to the next clip.
When she was going off in that direction, that's what I was exposed to, and I didn't like it at all. I was happy to leave. So we parted ways, and it was not, even after we left, we would still call and talk to each other, sometimes 5 and 6 months after we had separated. So how bad could it have been?
So, he's discussing how they ended, basically. She wanted the Hollywood life, the glamorous life, the success, to be a movie star, to do TV, advertising, opening her shop up, Bis and Bo. And she had no use for Mike Stone at this point, and he knew it. And yes, he says that they split up on good terms. They stayed friends for quite a while. And the truth is, she had outgrown Mike Stone, this giant figure that was this karate champion, and tiny little Priscilla had outgrown Mike Stone. I would say that she is most men's worst nightmare, and I don't like to say that. I don't like to be horrible, but in my opinion, Priscilla was most men's worst nightmare. Don't forget, she went on to have many, many relationships, and she's a handful. That's what we have. That's what we call her now. A handful. In England, we'd say she's a handful. I'm sure she's got a nice side, guys. I don't want to be hateful, but if a woman treated me like that, I'd be scared, guys. I'd be scared. That's my opinion. If my wife became like that, I've been with my wife for 20 years in next August. And if my wife put me through that, the damage that would do to me, unthinkable. Right, next one.
That she felt, is the word, guilty and ashamed for what she felt like she was cheating and going behind Elvis's back. But her intention already, when she first saw me, she admitted years later, when she first saw me fight in Hawaii, at that moment she looked and she said, that's the guy I want. She admitted this years later. Right? So it was an intention. And again, if you listen to her story that she just made them.
So I think that is a good way to end this live stream. With showing you the very first clip I've showed on this live stream. So there's 35 of you watching, 36 of you watching. Please subscribe. Please hit the notification bell. It's so important because then we can all come together live. And if any of you want to join, it's only $1 a month. It's not about the money. I don't need your money, but I want some more members so we can create some separate lives. So I can do just with the members, and it just pats me on the back. It makes me go, you like what I'm doing. So it's only $1, guys, and you can cancel at any time, but please subscribe so we get to these lives together. So I'm going to play that last bit, and then I'm going to quickly read the last of your comments, and I'm going to go and have some lunch, I've got to get my son from school as well because he finishes soon. But wow, we've had an amazing live today, haven't we, guys? We have had an amazing live. Even more interesting than I was expecting. I want to play that last one.
When she was going off in that direction, that's what I was exposed to, and I didn't like it at all. I was happy to leave. So we parted ways, and it was not, even after we left, we would still call and talk to each other, sometimes 5 and 6 months after we had separated. So how bad could it have been?
Let's go to, isn't there one more?
That she felt, here's the word, guilty and ashamed for what she felt like she was cheating and going behind Elvis's back. But her intention already, when she first saw me, she admitted years later, when she first saw me fight in Hawaii, at that moment she looked and she says, that's the guy I want. She admitted this years later. Right? So it was an intention. And again, if you listen to her story that she did.
Guilty and ashamed, guys. Guilty and ashamed. And she should be. Because I personally think the way Elvis was treated, in my opinion, guys, had an effect on him on the day he died. I really think that this Mike Stone experience that Elvis went through, this trauma that Elvis went through, this atomic bomb, this explosion, this earthquake, was still with him in 1977. And don't forget, in 1977, she is demanding more money. There's the deed of trust put on the building. I'm going to have to go, guys, but ashamed. I have to go, though, guys. My wife's trying to call me, so we're probably going to come back to this. I thank all of you for watching this. Really, really meant a lot to me. I've loved it with you guys. All the new people that have joined in today, the new members. We've had a brilliant live. We've had a brilliant live stream. It's one of my favorite live streams, guys. I can't go through everything because my wife's trying to ring. So you take care, guys. I really appreciate your company. And together we are defending Elvis. We are searching for the truth. And we're going to keep digging and we're going to keep defending Elvis. We are on a mission. We have our own movement now. And you are all part of our family. Remember, we are a big family. It is not my channel. It is our channel. So please subscribe, guys. Really important. I love it if you guys join up. Thanks, Kathy. Thanks, all of you. Every one of you. Susan, Yasmin, Nadia, everyone. Thank you so much. Take care, guys.